Well, you know, all of our vlogs are special. They're like children. You don't really want to pick a favorite. But this one might be a favorite of mine. You see, this is all about relationships. Our international senior correspondent, Blair Ballard, you know him well, you've seen him in the videos, has actually landed an exclusive interview with the person that has the most influence on all of these fashions and costumes that we've been searching for since Skyfall all the way through to Spectre. Yes, we have an exclusive interview with Jany Temime. You won't want to miss a moment of this. Hello everybody, welcome back. David Zaritsky for the Bond Experience. Oh my gosh, I'm not going to talk too much because here's the reality. This is Blair Ballard's story. You know Blair. Blair is our senior international correspondent, travels all around the world for the Bond Experience to get exclusive interviews just like this one. This one is with Jany Temime. Jany is amazing. She's charming. She's funny. She's introspective. She shares a lot of information. Why am I keeping talking? Let's let Blair tell the story of not only the interview itself, but how did he land this moment, this Bond Experience with Jany Temime? Over to you, Blair.
Yes, thank you, David. To quote Sir Roger Moore, we've been granted an audience. Yes, indeed, Jany Temime, costume designer for Skyfall and Spectre, has agreed to have a quick chat with us this afternoon. Bit of back history. Way back before Skyfall was released, we in the Bond community were scrabbling around trying to find out a few key pieces of wardrobe from scouring the internet for grainy paparazzi photos and teaser images that have been released. And we drew a blank on some of the key items. So, in a bit of a bold and brash move, I decided to approach Janny directly by email. And as surprised as I was, and everyone else was very surprised, she actually responded. And she was brilliant. She was so helpful. She gave us loads of inside information, lots and lots of juicy information about the brands that she'd used and the items she'd picked for Bond. Anyway, scroll forward a few years and we did the same thing for Spectre, and then I met her in fact at the Spectre charity auction at Christie's, and we had a great chat and she was wonderful. And then a month or so ago I agreed to contact her again, and she said yes, she'd love to meet up. And so here we are, we're on the way to Warner Brothers in Leavesden. Here we are, Warner Brothers Studios, Leavesden. Here we go. We're going to be going around the back to see Janny. Hope she's ready for us. And we'll hopefully have a chance for a quick chat. Janny, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy day to come and chat to us at the Bond Experience. It really is very much appreciated. How is it coming back to Warner Brothers? Obviously you're Harry Potter
Well, alumni. It was very strange because when we were there, I was here for 10 years. For 6 Harry Potter or something, and I remember the studio was looking very different. The studio was there very rough, and then actually they renew it the minute we left. They had time, and now I'm coming back in the best studio of England. It's incredibly
huge space, isn't it?
It's huge. It's very beautiful, very. It's exactly like a film studio should be, so we should be proud of it.
Absolutely. Now, how did you get involved in Bond in the first place? Did you get a call from Sam Mendes or Eon? How did it work out?
Both.
Yeah?
First, Sam, I was going to do a project with Sam, which didn't happen. And then after that, I was called by, a year later, I was called, a few months later, I was called by Sam to go to see him in New York to talk about Bond, and then the film didn't happen because MGM had problems.
That's right, yes.
So that was it, and then a year later I was asked by Barbara. Then I went to see first Sam again, and then I went to see Barbara, and then that's it, that was it.
Was Bond always on your radar, on your wish list of things to do?
Yes, because it is. I'm a Bond fan. I'm a really, really, really big Bond fan, and that was always my dream to do a Bond. So it was like wow, it happened to me. I really wanted to.
And the 50th anniversary, I mean, Skyfall was a big moment for everybody. So
and an incredible film.
It was beautiful.
Skyfall was absolutely brilliant and at every level. When I read the script, I was doing another film when I got the script, and I read the script and I thought, oh my God, this is so beautiful, perfect, exciting. It's sort of thing that you read in like half an hour and then 1 hour, but you just don't want to let it go because it's such it was a perfect story, and working with Sam Mendes was great.
Sure.
And discovering Daniel Gray, which I knew I had worked with him before, but then he was a few years older, and he had already done a Bond. It was not his first one, so I think he was already in the character, which was very easy for me, and he knew exactly what he wanted. He is somebody who was extremely good testing clothes, knows exactly what fits him, so it was a real pleasure.
I mean, Bond has always been defined as much by what he wears as what he does on screen. I mean, it's always been a quintessential part of the Bond experience, his clothing. Can you walk us through the process by which you decide which brands and items that
I didn't really decide for a brand, because when I stepped in I knew that Tom Ford was a sponsor, and I went to see first I went to New York, and I sort of gathered. I had a meeting with Daniel to ask him what he wanted, and he showed me some pictures of clothes, which direction to go, and we had the same idea about something which was easy, very physical, not a suit which is like a carcan on you, but a suit which is a continuation of your body, a suit which is like a second skin. We had very much
It's
that.
quite tight form fitting, isn't it? Is that the reason behind it then?
Yes, I wanted the suit to be, like I said, a second skin, not something that is as protecting, but something which moves with his body. That was the idea that the suit was a continuity of his body, that you could see, because it's a physical character, and Daniel Craig plays it very action man. He does his stunt. He has an incredible. He trains a lot, and what Bond does is what Daniel do. I mean, it's an incredible physical experience to see him moving, jumping. I mean, he is really doing it. And I wanted a suit would just follow his shape, that you could see his muscle moving when he was running, that you could see his shoulder moving. I wanted something like that. And I went to New York with 6 trousers, 6 jackets, 6 waistcoats, 6 shirts from everybody. And then we tried it, and then just to define the shape. And when I had that shape, I went to Tom Ford with a lot of humility, and because he is a great designer, and then I said, voila, this is what I like. And then I thought, well, he might throw it in my face and said, I'm doing my own things and forget it, but it was extraordinary. He said, he understands, he's a filmmaker himself, so he understood what was the job of a costume designer, and he said, if it is what you want, it is what we will do. And he sent me his tailor, and his tailor did exactly the shape that I wanted, and then we had 2 more fitting with Daniel, with the suit that those little Italian tailor made, and they were great, really, extremely good. They understood immediately what I wanted, and they did it, and then it was because it is so near the body, it has to be excellent, and they were excellent. Because at the same time the suit went through a lot, and they were so strong. And then the organization from Tom Ford was brilliant. We had all the fabric we wanted. These fabrics are incredible, very beautiful choice of fabric. So we had all those fabrics. We had the service of having 12 to 30 suits of the same, arriving in time in 3 different sizes, because Daniel doesn't have the same size than his stuntman or his other stuntman, and we have also some suits which have to be, some sleeves which have to be longer for the motorbike, some the trousers which have to be reinforced for some scenes. I mean, every suit has to have his different different possibility and is different made. So they gave us every suit in 3 different sizes, and we did all the intern work, accommodation work ourselves. But it was done in 2 months. It is incredible. What they did was incredible. We chose a tie there because their tie collection was very well. But I didn't want the thin one. I didn't want the broad one, which is the one I wanted. The one in between. That was Skyfall. For Spectre, the tie went slightly bigger, and I changed the collar because you have to change. It's an evolution, And I also think even in the story, in Spectre, well, he's a different person because people evaluate, and then we had also the make-believe of the Italian story where he's wearing something that Bond should not really wear, which is slightly more gangsterish because he has to be one of those bad mafia.
And Daniel you wouldn't put Daniel normally in black anyway because of his complexion. No.
That was supposed to be because he's one of those.
But you put him in a herringbone as well, very white herringbone, which is brilliant. So
it's just because he is supposed to be one of those mafiosos. So he is. At a certain moment, we wanted a little hat, and then when we tried a little hat, it was too comical. We didn't use it because it was supposed to pick up the hat when he's leaving Monica Bellucci, just over on the way out. He put his hat on, and I was just looking a little bit tacky, so we didn't use it. Because I think when he leaves, he is Bond again. Yeah. So there was an element of comic there that I didn't like, and I didn't like it.
But do you think did Sam Mendes or Daniel or yourself, because for Skyfall especially, but also for Spectre, there was with the 50th anniversary, there was a kind of Sam Mendes mentioned he was going to be putting in sort of Easter eggs or homage to the Bonds of the past. Was that something that informed your choices on certain things?
Well, anyway, I love Sean Connery, and anyway, we all respect Sean Connery, and it was not that we didn't do it. We didn't do it on purpose because it was the 50th anniversary. We thought, the three of us, we were completely agree on that Sean Connery was a perfect Bond. And he had the same physical presence that Daniel Craig has. Some actors are, like I think that Timothy Dalton has a little bit of Roger Moore, but I think that Daniel Craig has really something of Sean Connery.
Sean Connery said that, in fact. He did say that.
Absolutely, because they have the same look, like
they could hurt you.
Frightening that they could kill you if you just do one step too much, While the other one are a little bit more suave. It could be dangerous, I'm saying they're not dangerous, but it's something very primitively dangerous about Sean Connery and about Daniel Craig, which make them the same sort of Bond, the same sort of category of Bond that we could have. So, of course, you have a tendency of looking in the archives of what he was wearing. We use the holsters. We use the light blue for the swimming trunks. We use things that we used, But it was more an homage than a copy. It was because I do think that in Bond it's fun to have a few things coming back for the one who are really looking carefully, like you, me.
Because there were, I mean, as Bond fans, we don't know if we're reading too much into some of the choices. I mean, for example, I'm wearing the Tom Ford polo that you
Excellent. They were the best, because I went, just before Spectre, I went to Milano where Tom Ford invited me very nicely to look at the new collection, and there are things that I picked up, and I picked up that polo that you are wearing because I thought they were excellent and so well cut. And they were also, I mean, I think his knitwear is extraordinary. And the shirt, because the fabric that he's using for the shirt is excellent. Excellent, couldn't be better. So they made shirt, and then you can choose the collar, and we have a collar which is just in between two of their collars, because every neck is different. So I don't know, there are things that Tom Ford does which are perfect.
But when for the actual scene when Daniel is wearing the casual wear in Morocco, and he's wearing the shirt with the matchless suede jacket and the Brunello Cucinelli trousers, Was that a deliberate? Because it's very similar. It evokes the clothes that.
I'm not sure. Is that Brunello? Because I thought it was a Tom Ford jeans. Because Tom Ford, I tried. I cannot remember actually.
Oh, there's no problem.
I know that I know where the jacket is coming from.
But it evokes what Timothy Dalton wore when his Morocco scenes back in The Living Daylights. He wore
that was not at all my inspiration.
Oh.
My inspiration was more, that Moroccan sequence. I was more thinking. I was really coming from this 1950 Humphrey Bogart, Casablanca writers, those writers going around Morocco. And then when you are in Morocco, you cannot help using those colors, the ochre, the beige, but I was never thinking.
You weren't thinking, we'll do Timothy Dalton.
No.
Oh, okay, that's very interesting for us
because I can tell you something that Daniel Craig in polo looks amazing.
He does.
Because he has such a perfect.
Well, I'm kind of close second.
I am not talking about you. I'm talking about Daniel Craig,
sure.
Who looks amazing in those polo, and the polo are a very slim cut. They're perfect, and the color is incredibly good. So a little bit 50, what I like.
Yeah, exactly.
So that was Paul Ballard was more my inspiration. Like the writer crossing Morocco. That was more my inspiration than Thibaut. If Thibaut was wearing it, then it's fantastic because then the circle is closed.
The circle is complete.
But that was not.
But one of your favourites I've read, my favourite pieces from Spectre was the white tuxedo.
Yes, so I wanted the white tuxedo first because after the dark blue tuxedo, I said, Sam, forget it. I just cannot design another tuxedo because that tuxedo is so perfect. I just cannot I cannot do something better. Because when I saw Daniel for the first time, we were shooting in Pinewood on that lake, artificial lake. It was at night, and then I saw Daniel arriving in that dark blue tuxedo. I cried.
It's just beautiful.
I tell you, I was so high that I drove back home and I got 3 points on my driving license because I was speeding. I was completely full of adrenaline, singing in the car. 3 points. So it tells you how happy I was with the result. The tuxedo was amazing on him. It was looking gorgeous. Yeah. So the idea of having to design another tuxedo better than that one, I just didn't know how. So I said, okay, well, let's go in a complete different chapter. Let's go into a white one because actually Humphrey Bogart is wearing a white tuxedo in Casablanca because Sean Connery was wearing. So we go into that, and I was really pleased because when I look at the Oscar ceremony after that, the presenter was wearing a white dinner jacket, and I think that a white dinner jacket should be a sample in every man wardrobe.
Absolutely.
It's wonderful because you can wear it with a jean or with like evening trousers. It's always good.
It is beautiful. Just two things. First of all, we'd like to thank you for championing British brands in.
Oh no, we want to.
But I mean, what could be more British than seeing James Bond in Scotland in a barbered coat, brown corduroys and Crockett & Jones boots?
You know that for us, because that jacket had up to me too many details, so we cleaned up.
Sure, we had to take off the.
I took off. I just wanted to, because on James Bond you don't want too many emoji details, so we just cleaned it up. Like taking off the collar, the thing, taking off, just to make it more essential.
Sure.
Because I wanted that jacket look like something which was in that house for 25 years, belonged to his father, it's something like you rolled up somewhere, that you hang in your country house and that you wear every time you're there because it's so handy and practical. And
mine gets used every day in winter.
Oh, it's it's a beautiful jacket.
But I mean, you have Enfield, you have all of these amazing British brands, Timothy Everest, even the modern ones like Neil Barrett, All Saints, Top Man even as well. These were obviously context specific for, when Bond's down his luck in Turkey, he needs to.
But you know that you have in England the best homeware. I mean, honestly, you have. You don't really need to go anywhere else. They have a very, very, very good manufacturer, and they're always so nice. You know, they always help us so much. You were talking about Pearl, you were talking about Crockett and Jones for the shoes, what they are doing for us.
Yeah.
The suitcases also,
Yeah.
the suitcases. It is incredible. We have, you know, James Bond is an English product. It should be manufactured in England, and it's made in England with English talent, and of course we are using the English brand as much as we can.
One last thing. Bond future, okay? Just 1 second. Given the fact that many men these days only wear suits and ties very occasionally, if you were given the job for Bond 25 or in the future, how do you make, if suits and ties are on the, you know, sort of becoming less and less frequently, regularly used?
I think it would be a pity.
Of course, but how would you make Bond relevant and still put him in his traditional uniform of the suit and tie?
I think I would still put him in suit, because I think that a suit is the most perfect, elegant, sophisticated piece of clothing for a man. Now, what you have to care is about good tailoring. Good tailoring means a good suit. You know, you have bad suit and good suit, and if your suit is well cut, if your suit is good enough to be worn with nonchalance, elegance, you know, it's just the association of a suit with an armor which isn't good. A suit can also be the continuation of yourself.
Of course.
You should be able with a good tailoring to forget that you are wearing a suit, and then you are really elegant.
Fantastic. Well, there we go. Thank you so much, Janny. I know you have to zoom off now, but thank you so much for spending time with us, and I know it's very precious.
It has been a pleasure, as always, Blair.
Oh, thank you so much. And now back to you in the States, David.
Sorry, I had to pick my jaw off the floor. That was amazing. Oh my gosh. I honestly wish that interview had gone on for another hour and a half, but Janny had to get to a movie set. This is her job. But first of all, we want to thank Janny so much for spending the time with us, for saying yes, for being so patient with our hobby and our interests. But the reality is that she's created so much influence, and you hear how she does it. I mean, it takes some of the mysteries out. We made so many assumptions and so much speculation of how this all works and why we chase these things down. And Blair was so funny. I mean, he's got so much personality. He wraps up the culture of the Bond experience so nicely. So first of all, thank you, Janny. But also thank you, Blair. Thank you, Blair, for taking the chance and the risk and going out there and getting an interview like this. We hope to get more. Big things are on the horizon, so stay tuned. This has been David Zaritsky for the Bond Experience, and we will see you very soon. Take care. Oh, hey, you're still here. I didn't even know. You listen, while you're here, if you want, so I would actually go to this button right here and click on it, because then you actually subscribe to our vlogs. It's amazing. You get to see all the upcoming stuff first. You get notifications. It screams at you while you're at work. It's absolutely amazing. Just click on this button, hit subscribe. Just move your cursor, move